getting into, so you talk about men, masculinity, which is, here's, we're talking offline about charting a third course here.
Yeah.
When I hear the word masculinity, so I spent years and years in grad school in counseling. So I hear a lot of toxic masculinity, that word, right?
Yeah.
Masculinity is destroying everything. And it's things that aren't even anthropologically correct, right? That we just made it up a few years ago.
Right.
And then you get the other side, which is what I would consider equally damaging, is this almost celebration of Neanderthal, like of just complete idiots.
Yeah.
And I struggle with finding a path in the middle here, and it looks like you have. So walk me through how would you define masculinity for folks?
Well, this is really important because you're right. You hear a lot of things like, well, you said it, toxic masculinity, tyrannical patriarchy, down with the patriarch. You hear things like rape culture, things that aren't related to that or called that. It's kind of weird. And really what I see it being is a movement to lump all masculinity in as toxic or harmful or destructive. So the American Psychological Association came out with a study that at the end of the day, if you root everything away, they basically said that the attributes that we would normally consider masculine by nature, so I think it was competitiveness, dominance, maybe aggression, and stoicism, are inherently harmful. Well, they're not.
Yeah.
And when people say toxic masculinity, I know what some people are saying. I know they're saying what's again, some people are saying that some masculinity, or if you take it to the extreme, it can be toxic. I actually don't disagree with that. But I don't use that term because what are we even talking about? The fact that we even need to sit here and define it is why I'm not going to use that term, because I don't think it's used in the right context, and I don't think it has the right motive behind it. So let me say this, and I'm going to set the record straight here. Masculinity is amoral. It's not good. It's not. Some people say, "Oh, we need it so good." No, it's not good. It's
just
not
as
bad.
it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I was talking with my son. I told you started a podcast, and we were talking about testosterone.
Yeah.
And I read up on a lot of this because I want to stay in the know. And young boys, fetuses, babies, newborns, even in utero, are introduced to higher levels of testosterone than our female counterparts.
Right.
And that changes us biologically, physiologically. It changes who we are.
Right.
And it causes us to have certain characteristics, secondary sex characteristics, like we're bigger, we're stronger, we're faster, bone density, muscle mass, but also the way that we behave and the way that we interact with the world. And it's amoral. It just is.
It is.
It's how we utilize it. And that's what I call manliness.
Gotcha.
So a man can harness his masculinity for productive outcomes. That's somebody who's acting like a man. Anything else is male. You can be a male. That's a biological birthright.
Right.
You're either a male or you're a female, right? Then you have masculinity, and how you use your masculinity, those characteristics caused by the hormones flooding through our bodies, is what determine if we're being manly or not.
So manly for you is not a pejorative. Manly for you is like, that is a thing to aspire to. Kind of like I hear, working with kids, there's a lot of fathers, fewer dads, right? Anybody can father a kid.
Right.
But becoming somebody's dad, that's a different thing, right? So there's a bunch of people who can be male.
Sure.
Manliness, when applied appropriately, looks like what?
It's the next level. So let me say what it's not. It's
okay.
not, wearing a flannel shirt and chopping wood and...
Disagreed.
Yeah. I'm not saying you shouldn't, okay?
Come on, man.
It's not having a beard.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not saying that you shouldn't.
Listen, I haven't shaved like in 11 months. This is all I got, man.
It's been probably like 11 minutes for me.
I was going to say, dude, you used to have this long sucker. Yeah. Dude. It looked awesome.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu got in the way of that.
Oh, did it?
Or my beard got in the way of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So people say, well, it's going to the gym. And look, no. I mean, strength is important, but it's how you use the strength. If you go to the gym and you're jacked and you use it to beat people, okay, that's not being manly. I mean, you might have some masculinity in there because you're strong and you're big and you have those hormones, but that's not being manly. No, I don't think anybody would suggest it is.
Yeah.
But alternatively, if you witness a car accident and you're able to pry open a door with your muscles and pull somebody out of the car because you're exhibiting bravery, courage, risk-taking, and the physical strength to be able to deal with it, that's manly behavior.
Gotcha.
So manliness is...
It's a character.
It is. It's developed. It's earned.
It's almost something practiced, right?
Well, that's the best way to get better at anything. You can't just be manly. Like, you have to actually practice it. So when a lot of times people will say, they'll say to me, nobody needs another man to tell him how to be a man. No, that's the furthest thing from the truth.
I need a picture of what this looks like.
That's exactly opposite of reality.
Yes.
So my sons, I've got 3 sons. I've also got a little girl. And they need instruction.
Yes.
If they don't get it, then they have the potential of going off course.
Well, see, and I'll even go one step further. They will get it. It will be from you or from somebody.
They'll get an instruction manual. It might be faulty.
It may be. They will pick one up.
Yeah.
And so I love, I think it's maybe an old Adler quote, an old psychologist quote, said, I thought I could take away somebody's depression and anxiety and they would be well. I found they were empty. That's who they were. I had to give them tools to learn how to practice to live a life of joy, live a life of relationship, of connection, of whatever.
Right.
Similarly, I can choose to teach my son what a man looks like, and here's what value looks like, and here's what character looks like, or not, and somebody else will fill that vacuum.
Right. And so he's going to use his masculinity for destructive purposes.
Gain, yes, which becomes, becomes.
But again, and that's where people say, well, see, that's toxic masculinity. Look, I understand what you're saying. I don't disagree, but I don't use terms that are designed or at least hijacked to paint all masculinity as toxic.
That's right. And I think that's one of my core missions here is we've got to chart a third way of instead of brushing everything sideways and
right.
with one swipe, right?
Yeah.